Hello, I'm Paul Pluta, the method actor who plays Archibald Chesterfield III, a C3. And today I'd like to talk about meeting and talking to my heroes. And when I started the Archie Luxury channel, two big heroes I had was a blog. It used to be called a blog to read, which is now a blog to watch. YouTube channel, a blog to watch. That's Ariel Adams. And the second guy who was my hero was Jaeger-LeCoultre. Jaeger-LeCoultre. He's from the Rolex. He's from Jake's Rolex Watch blog. And I remember in the noughties, the late noughties, actually I was doing a lot of contract work for KBR, IT support, and I used to read Jake's pages. Whenever you type in a Rolex watch or some celebrity, there'd be an article on Jake's Rolex watch blog. And I gotta tell you, he was always someone I wanted to talk to. And Jake is actually the reason, I gotta tell you, I gotta confess to you, don't tell Jake this because I don't want his ego to get any bigger. But Jake himself is the reason I have my world time, okay? Because Jake's also had a Patek page as well. He tells the story of himself, how he really wanted a Patek Philippe perpetual calendar 3940, which is the classic 36mm perpetual calendar. Just an amazing piece. And you know, I remember reading that story and thinking, you know, such love has gone into it. He tells the story of how he really wanted one. He wasn't born with a silver spoon in his mouth. It might have been silver plated. But his relative was Jaeger-LeCoultre, the very famous lawyer, very famous American lawyer who Perry Mason was based on. What a grandfather to have. What a cool family. And he tells the story of how he remembers when he had enough money to buy a 3940, he bought it. And he just loved the watch. And I love his passion for the brand. He's not someone who just had a platinum Visa card or platinum Amex and just bought it. He's someone who really had to save and struggle to get it. And I could relate a lot to that, to my own struggle for Patek Philippe, because they are expensive, very expensive. He tells the story how he had his 3940, then after enjoying it for a number of years, he sold it for personal reasons. Personal reasons. And, you know, I've been there myself. I remember years ago, I had my Calatrava in Brisbane Vintage Watches. They're now called Vintage Watch Co. I gave it to Ronnie on consignment, and I said, Ronnie, if it doesn't sell by Christmas, I'll take it back. Either way, I'll be happy. Either it'll be sold and I got the money, or it won't have sold and I'll have a beautiful Patek over the Christmas holiday. And I remember when I picked it up, it didn't sell. I remember when I picked it up from Ronnie, and I said, you know, I love this watch. This is my 5107 more than most bitches I've fucked. And, you know, that watch just meant so much to me. I loved my 5107 Calatrava, and it's a bit like Jake. Jake had the 3940 classic. I love that watch. That's kind of it was a grail for me. I love that. I've never actually owned a 3940. I had a 5035 annual calendar, but the 3940 was always a dream one. The other grail was always the 5110 World Time. And you know, I got to tell you, it's just such an unattainable watch. I never thought I'd get one. And I remember reading Jake's column, and that's really the reason I sold the gold sub and got the world time, because I could relate to what he said. He told the story so brilliantly. He told the story so well, how he loved it, how he sold it eventually, And it really resonated with me because I'm not someone who can afford to keep everything. I mean, I really loved my gold sub. I loved my Calatrava, the 5107. I love the annual calendar. I would, you know, I would love to have them still with me. I really would. They were cool pieces. I really loved them. But, you know, sometimes in life, you can't always keep these things, you know. You kind of need the money. I'm a lower middle class, overweight white guy. I need the money. I need the money. And unfortunately, I sold it. I needed the money. I really did need the money. But as Jake said, you know, it's better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all. And I could really resonate with Jake's journey in watch collecting. And it's kind of like my 5110. I absolutely love the watch. I'm semi-contemplating selling it because I want to buy a condo because I'm going to be homeless in 2020. So I'm looking at maybe buying a condo now so that I can move into it later on. And you know, it's a bit of a journey. I mean, a Patek is cool, but do you really want to be homeless? You know, that's kind of what it comes down to. And I got to tell you, Jake's story there, it just resonates. He told the story so well. I remember it. I remember the. I'll put the link to the article below. And it's kind of the same feelings I had for Pateks I've owned, and I've been there. I know exactly. Jake is a fantastic storyteller. He's also got podcasts, and he's the reason I got my world time. That's the reason. Jake Ehrlich, and Jake's Rolex watch blog. That's the reason he's one of my heroes. And I spoke to him recently, and the guy is so cool. He's really, really cool, really nice guy. I love him to death. So don't tell him that. I don't want him to know. You know, he's sort of one of my heroes in the watch YouTube commentary type business. And he's a really, really, really nice guy. Absolutely love him to death. And you know, I own my watch. That's the reason, because of him, because of Jake. That's that story he told about his 3940 perpetual calendar, how he really wanted it and he finally got it, and then he sold it. But you know, it's not all bad. He just sold it, and he has the memories of enjoying it. I'm Paul Pluta, the Paul Pluta channel, Archie Luxury channel. Tell me what you guys, take a look at his stuff. He's a great guy. Paul Pluta signing out. See you later.